Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is the nation's leading franchise consultant, no other than Mr. Adam Goldman. Welcome to Book 101, Mr. Adam, and can you please introduce more about yourself?
Sure, Daniel, so happy to be here. So I started a journey in 2010 where I was not sure what to do with my career. I decided to invest in franchise business, right? And that journey was to actually start a master franchise in office cleaning in Houston, Texas. And that business went really well. I owned it for 8.5 years. And something happened with that business in that positive, the person that owned the region next to mine decided that they wanted to expand, and they gave me a really good offer. And I went ahead and decided to sell my business. It was an unsolicited offer. And then instead of being a franchise owner, I became a coach and consultant. I've been doing that for 8.5 years now. And what I do is I'm here to kind of take these different business opportunities and different franchise opportunities and connect them with potential investors, people that are thinking about entering the entrepreneurship world. But I liken this to actually riding a bike with training wheels, right? And so that's my role, a matchmaker, kind of like eHarmony or Match.com, but for franchisees and franchise businesses.
Mr. Adam, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world and, of course, your business itself. So let's talk about the E2 visa. What can you say about this?
So look, related to the E2 visa, what I can say is this, that people don't really realize that there's a misconception when it comes to immigrating to the United States. And the number one reason why people want to come to the United States is they want a better life for their kids. I have a lot of Canadians or people from throughout the world that are looking to potentially emigrate here to the United States, even with the current administration. And what I can tell you is that there are different ways to get in. In my humble opinion, the idea of an E2 visa, meaning going ahead and getting entrance to the United States through a franchise, which can be a lot less expensive than an EB-5, is kind of the best kept secret in immigration to the U.S. I've never had anyone not approved, and I think it's a great avenue to emigrate here and to start a really good business as well.
Indeed, I totally agree with you, Mr. Adam. And how much capital is typically needed to qualify for an E2 visa through franchise ownership?
So that's great. So I as little as about $125,000, I've been able to get these things done.
Are there specific industry that are more favorable or safer for E2 franchise investments?
So look, when you go to a consulate, you need to actually have a specific business and plan in mind. So my candidates tend to gravitate towards not very glamorous service businesses that are non-brick and mortar. It's possible with other things, meaning like a fitness studio, but I found the best things with home service companies that are easy to start up.
What should potential investors look for when evaluating E2 visa eligible franchise?
Well, look, the number one thing is to make sure that the franchise, that it really is E2 eligible. Not all franchises accept E2 candidates. The second question would be what their success rate is. Do they have experience in doing these? And third, I think most importantly, especially for those people that are from outside of the United States and Canada, ones that don't necessarily have as good command of the English language, how much process and system are you getting? Meaning, is this the kind of brand that could really work with you? Because it's a culture shock for someone even to come from Europe to the United States. Do you have a strong franchise brand with strong systems that can really support you as a franchisee?
Let's talk the finding the right franchise, Mr. Adam. What are the biggest mistakes investors make when selecting franchise for their E2 visa application?
I would say the number one mistake they make is actually picking a franchise that isn't even E2 friendly, right? That's the first one. The second one would be a situation where, how would I put it? That they might not necessarily have the capital available, right? Many people tend to think, oh, I can get this, or even, and number three, get this for $20,000. It's just not realistic. There isn't any franchise that's E2 friendly that's that rate. And third, I think most importantly, is that when someone has decided that they want to come to the United States and they want an E2, they tend to underestimate how hard it is to actually create a business from scratch that is E2 friendly, that the consular will approve. So franchises are an amazing tool to get that visa.
How important is franchise brand recognition for E2 approval and long-term success?
Not that important at all, right? So I've had brands that have only had 5, 10, or 20 units open that are emerging brands, which can be great, right? If it's the right franchisor, and they've been approved for E2s as well. So that's not an issue at all.
Yes, indeed. It's not an issue, people. If you have the money, for sure, you can have it. How do factors like location, market saturation, and franchise fees affect the decision process?
So what I would say is that the fact of market might affect what's available or what isn't. If you're in a very hot market like Dallas or Denver or Houston, right, then you might need to be a little bit more selective about which franchise brands to invest in, because they get snatched up very quickly. The good news is that I work with brands that are pre-screened in 75 different industries. And so what that means is that I'll be able to have something that's really exciting and interesting, even from an E2 perspective, no matter where you're looking in the United States.
Indeed, interesting visa, Mr. Adam. Are there support services or consultants who help match investors with the right E2 franchise?
I am that guy, right? So I'm the one that
Yes.
picks the right franchise business that's E2 friendly. When it comes to an attorney, I do have referrals of people that are actual legal advisors about how to go ahead and navigate and shepherd through that process.
Mr. Adam, let's talk about the success blueprint for franchise owners. What traits or habits do you see in the most successful E2 franchise owners?
So that's a great question. And what I can tell you is that the number one indicator of success, and it's quite simple actually, in the franchising world, is whether or not someone's going to follow the model or not. Presuming we give the person the right franchise business, right? Are they going to go ahead and are they going to work a little bit harder? Are they going to be that silver bullet that is the predictor of success or not? Are they going to network inside of the franchise and talk to the right people? Are they going to listen to the people at the head office when they give them advice? These are kind of the most important factors in a success or not.
One of the criteria, indeed. Mr. Adam, what role does ongoing training or franchisor support play in a franchisee success?
A lot of support, a big factor in that, right? So that's really important, Daniel. And look, what I would say is this: when you're buying a franchise brand, you're buying two things. You're buying a brand name, and you're also buying a system, right? And so you're really not getting much value unless you're actually getting a system that you're using. Think McDonald's, right? When you're at McDonald's, you have amazing processes, or Chick-fil-A. I mean, it's almost like clockwork. And so that's what you're buying into, and you're looking for those processes to allow you to succeed and allow you to be profitable.
Yes, indeed. So, do you think which is more profitable, building your brand or create do a franchise?
Look, franchising is not for everyone, right? If you're the kind of person that doesn't like to have a blueprint to follow in order to succeed, then maybe franchising isn't right for you. But if you're the kind of person that sees the value in having the support, then I think it is the right fit for many people. It's the kind of thing that there are different types of entrepreneurs, Daniel. There are people that are really good at starting from scratch, but that's a different skill set. And in the book, The E-Myth, there's a situation where he talks about if you're starting something on your own, by Gerber, he's the author, you're just doing so many different things. You're wearing so many hats and you're not really able to add value. But when you have the right franchise brand behind you, that can be a really, really good situation.
Yes, indeed. E-Myth by Gerber is highly recommended. Can you share a real world success story of someone who used the E2 visa to achieve the American dream?
Sure. Sure. So one of my favorite stories, right, is someone that came from the UK. For whatever reason, people from the UK love Florida. There's a reason why there are all these nonstop flights from London to Florida. Maybe it's the weather, especially in the middle of the winter. And look, what they've done is they've decided to invest. I have a couple of stories like this. They've decided to invest in service businesses that aren't very glamorous. And they're just kind of amazed and excited in that they're able to really scale these businesses. They're doing really, really well. And it's a situation where it's not only them, but their family as well has been able to have a better situation in school and here in the United States and about the future. And it's been just a really good move for them.
Yes, it's suitable for them for sure. And let's talk about the immigration and residency insights. How does owning a franchise help someone transition into the U.S. residency over time?
So my understanding is that E2 isn't a direct path, right? But it's a situation where if you're here on an E2, there are all these other things that would allow you eventually. So, for instance, I hear that a spouse is able to get a green card through this. I'm not an attorney, right? So I don't know these particulars, but I hear that there are ways to gain citizenship in general by being in the United States, but E2 is not a direct path to citizenship.
So, Mr. Adam, is it the E2 visa is the same with Mr. Donald Trump global visa?
I'm glad you brought that up, and it actually is not the same at all. And the reason why it's not is you need $5 million to get a golden visa.
Mm.
This, we're talking about $125,000, right? There's a big difference. And frankly, many of my candidates don't have $5 million to spend on something like this.
So, what are the limitations or challenges E2 visa holders should be aware of regarding permanent residency?
So what I would say is this, an E2 visa is renewable. And my understanding is it's every 2 years or so, right? So in order to get it renewed every couple of years, your business needs to be a going concern. And so if you're just if your business isn't doing the way that you, as well as you expected, then you're in danger of it not being renewed. So that's the biggest pitfall, I would say. In order for it to be ongoing, the business needs to be a going concern.
Mr. Adam, let's deep dive in choosing the right business. How does one conduct proper due diligence on a franchise from abroad?
So, look, my role is I'm here to really narrow down and to make sure that we do a great job of investigations, right? So, for a first step with my candidates, even the ones that are from abroad, I go ahead and I give them a survey. And then we have a more in depth conversation by Zoom. And then after we have this conversation, I write a 2-page letter or model where I'm not even worried about brand, but more focused on characteristics of this ideal E2 visa. And then after we have this this model, I go ahead and connect them with 3 great E2 friendly brands, and then they start investigations directly with my help. And so the way that we make sure, even if it's from abroad, that this is a great fit, is together we do validation. And that might be even visiting the United States ahead of time. I've had people from Pakistan visit existing franchisees and see what they think. And I mean, you can still do great investigations in really not a very long time, even if you're from abroad, and really be comfortable with the decision that you're making in quite a fast time frame.
Mr. Adam, as the national leading franchise consultant, what are your short term and long term goals?
So short-term goal, right? If we're looking at over the next couple of years, right? Frankly, it's non-business related, right? It's really related to my family. My family means the world to me. And I just want to be there and be a present dad and be there for them. My daughters are 13, 9, and 7. So it's a really critical time in their development. I just want to be there as a dad. And that's the short-term goal. Long-term goal, right? I would say it is really family related. I think it's interesting to kind of look in a crystal ball and see what happens in 11 years from now when my youngest is actually at college outside of my house, and just kind of imagining what my life will be like in 11 years with her away, right? Things such as my health, how good that will be. Hopefully it'll be good, and do everything in my power to make that healthy. What my goal, what kind of things I can do on a daily basis when I'm not as involved in parenting, meeting things such as, could I be a speaker that's going globally, that's a global speaker? I really enjoy public speaking. Could that be a hobby that I could, and more travel? So things like that on a long-term basis are interesting for me.
Mr. Adam, good luck to your goals and looking forward for more success.
Thank you so
And
much.
you're most welcome. And can you recommend a book regarding of what our topic today, or books that influence your journey?
So look, for me, the one that I think is most interesting is the franchisee lifestyle, right? You can also see it behind me on that poster. And what I would say is interesting about the franchisee lifestyle is that it's really debunking a misconception, Daniel. And that misconception is that if you invest in a franchise or an E2 friendly franchise, you're stuck being an owner operator in the back of McDonald's flipping hamburgers, right? The number one reason why people invest in franchises, even people that are from abroad, is it's because of freedom, right? It's about working on your own terms. It's about not being someone that works for an energy company that's in the Gulf of America, right? And there for 3 weeks per month, and missing their kids' games. It's also a situation where if you are a franchisee, you're able to really build something of your own as opposed to making someone else rich. And this has case studies that kind of talk about this idea of a lifestyle business.
Indeed, Mr. Adam, I totally agree with you. Are there franchise types that tend to face more scrutiny or rejection from immigration officials?
So, as I mentioned, it's trickier to have a brick and mortar business. And the reason why, from an E2 perspective, that when you come and trying to get that visa approved, you have to have this business up and running. And so if for instance, if you're investing in something like a McDonald's or a food restaurant, and you haven't even gone ahead and constructed it yet, and it's not open, and there's like a long time frame, many of my candidates are really on a tight timeline, it's trickier to get it approved than a service business that's simple, where your first client could be, if you have a maid service, someone raises their hand and say, hey, clean my house, and you have a truck and you're ready to go.
Indeed. So, Mr. Adam, the E2 visa is more highly recommended than the global visa of Mr. Donald Trump.
Absolutely. Unless you have $5 million to piss away.
Indeed, people, it's up to you to choose whether you like it or not if you have the money. So, Mr. Adam, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in 5th season, abstract poetry in 2nd season, and book 101 review in 5th season as well, comedy 101 in 2nd season, Food 101 in 5th season 2, Geography 101 and Love Letters are in 3rd season, and my baby podcast, Mental Health 101, Movie 101 review and Music 101 in its 4th season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its 1st season. Please do listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. Mr. Adam, what final advice would you give someone overseas considering an E2 visa franchise path today?
Give me a call. I offer free consultations. I promise to tell you if I don't think you're fit for my free service as well. You can reach me at franchise-visa.net, right? And or my other website, which is franchise.adam.com. And I'm happy to kind of tell you what's going on in my world and about the franchising world and if you're a fit for it.
Yes, people, let's connect Mr. Adam Goldman, because if you connect with him, for sure you have to E2 visa will come. So, Mr. Adam, can you please invite our listeners to support your business itself?
Yeah, again, as I mentioned, franchisecoach.net or franchisevisa.net. Go ahead and log on, and love to help you.
Yes, people, like I said, let's support Mr. Adam Goldman, because if you support him, more and more and more empowering business like this to come. So, Mr. Adam, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
More to come, people. See you soon.